feel that our ability to pay attention to what the universe is presenting to us is a direct link to the manifestation process. So when it comes to wanting to create something for yourself, a big part of that creation process is watching and observing what the universe is mirroring back to you. Noticing the coincidences, the insights, the signs, everything that's going on around you is going to mirror back what is going on internally and the process that you're going through when it comes to your creativity and your manifestations. I really value when I receive a synchronicity. But I've also learned throughout my journey to kind of take the signs with a grain of salt. A lot of times I've seen the matrix mirror back to me subconscious beliefs, maybe things that I have thought of in the past and they kind of got stored away. So sometimes a synchronicity will happen to just remind me of something that I've stored within my own subconscious mind. An example of this is I was talking to my mom about a man that I was seeing. I was dating this new guy, and I had mentioned it to my mother. And after our phone conversation, not only like a minute later, I saw a car go by with a license plate saying, "He's the one." And when I saw that license plate, I'll be honest, in the moment I was like, oh, oh my God, like I was just talking about this person and there's a license plate that's saying he's the one. I was just talking to my mom about him, And so it's kind of like, what was the message for me? Because I ended up breaking up with this guy a couple months later and he was definitely not the one. But what was the license plate? What was the meaning of that? I really feel that it was just, the matrix mirroring back to me subconscious beliefs of wanting to find the one, and maybe he was the one, and talking to my mom about him brought up this excitement and this feeling of, oh, well, and then the license plate mirrored that back to me. So you can see how signs, sometimes we have to take them with a grain of salt. Sometimes they're just there as information. Another type of funny situation that I've had, and I get signs and synchronicities like crazy, constantly, all day long. I'm like, oh, there we go, yep, see it. It's just like an observation process. But this one particular instance was really kind of funny. I believe I was like hiking, and I remember looking at my phone and being like, okay, I just lost my last bar, I'm in this back kind of canyon up on this really high peak, and in that instance when I looked at my phone, somebody actually called me, and as I saw this person's name on my phone, I was in disbelief, because not only did my phone say I had no service, but I hadn't heard from this particular person in a while. So the phone call took me by surprise in a few ways. To me, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I just had this bizarre conversation randomly with this person, and all of a sudden I look up and every single tree literally has a red flag hanging from it. And if I were to think to myself, okay, if I were to think logically, I would think, they're just tagging the trees because they're probably going to cut them down or do something. But that's what my rational mind would think. But to my intuitive feeling side, it was red flags everywhere. That person brought up a lot of weird feelings for me, and I felt like the outside world was just mirroring that to me, giving me reassurance that what I was feeling internally was, it was off. This person was giving me red flags like crazy. In that instance, later on, I came to know that this person did not have my best interest in mind, and that the red flags were showing up as a warning from the universe. And so I sort of had to heed that message. So it's kind of like in these two different instances of the universe really showing a strong sign and giving me a really strong synchronistic, hit kind of. You can see how we have to balance these synchronicities. We have to balance what we're observing. So I really feel the key is to balance your rational, logical mind with your intuitive, you know, your intuition. You got to balance your intuition with your rational mind, because we're going to get more and more of these signs, more and more of these numbers, these synchronicities, these insights. All of this is going to come flooding to us even more. Why? Because we're becoming more and more in tune with our creation. So we are becoming more powerful. We're becoming more able to create our own realities. So we're interacting more with the universe, you see? So as these signs come to us, it's going to be important for us to balance our rational mind with our intuition. And we're going to have to be able to trust both sides of ourselves, and to be able to take those signs as messages, and to, kind of store that information for future reference for the manifestation process.